Unit 13, Common Types of Joints and Welds. Joint types. A basic joint is a way of arranging metal pieces in relation to each other so they can be welded. Common joints are shown in Figure 13-1. Combinations and variations of the basic joint designs can make other joints. Weld types. Each welding job will require one or more of the welds shown in Figure 13-2. Study each carefully. A surfacing weld, known also by the non-standard term bead weld, consists of a narrow layer or layers of metal deposited in an unbroken puddle of the surface of the metal. Placing a series of surfacing welds tightly next to each other is also called padding or lacing. A groove weld is a weld made in a groove on one or both surfaces to be joined. A fillet weld is approximately triangular in shape and is used when joining two surfaces at an angle. There is the 5 basic weld joints: butt, corner, lap, edge, and T-joint. Plug and slot welds are welds made through one circular or elongated hole in a piece of metal to join it to another piece of metal. The opening may be particularly or partially or completely filled with the weld. A resistance spot weld is an individually formed weld where the shape and size of the weld nugget is limited by the size and contour of the welding electrodes. The resistance seam weld is a series of overlapping spot welds made progressively along the joint by rotating electrodes. Joints and grooves. To assure a solid weld, it is frequently necessary to combine the joint with one of the groove styles shown in Figure 13-3. Excuse me. The groove is the opening provided between the two metal pieces being joined by the groove weld. Terms used to describe welds. To describe a weld, names are given to common parts. Some names are specified to the type of joint or weld, but most of the names are common to all welds. For a fillet weld, 5 names are commonly used to describe the weld. Figure 13-4 shows the terms and the locations on the weld. The weld face is the exposed surface of the weld. The weld root is the deepest penetration of the weld into the base material. The base material, sometimes called the parent metal, is the material being welded, brazed, soldered, or cut. The weld toe is where the weld face and base metal meet. The weld leg is in the vertical or horizontal distance from the base material to the toe of the weld. A fillet gauge is used to measure this distance. Figure 13-5 shows the use of a fillet gauge to measure leg size on a fillet weld. The leg size is often specified on a welding symbol. Although most of the terms associated with a fillet weld are the same as those for a groove weld, there are a few additional terms associated with a groove weld. The weld buildup above the surface of the base material on a butt joint is called a reinforcement. The angles made on the base metal before welding are called the beveled angles, and the single plate or the groove angles if both plates are prepared. Terms commonly associated with a butt joint are shown in Figure 13-4.